Hi everyone, so we are going to be talking about the money unit I created for this project. In particular, on the screen you're seeing 1st through 5th grade that this can be used, and I'm doing this because I had my kids in mind when creating this unit. The classroom I'm in right now is a 3rd through 5th grade classroom with kids with moderate to cognitive impairments. We are just now starting we started a few weeks ago. So this can be used in a gen ed classroom or a special ed classroom. Everything's going to vary depending on their levels, but for this in particular, I had my kids in mind. So we're going to start off with my background information. So I'm going to use formative and summative assessments throughout my unit to see where my students are at. This is going to help me know if I should reteach something, spend more time on it, practice more times in centers, and to see if they get it and I can move on. So for this, they're going to keep a math notebook, and what I mean by math notebook, this is going to be something online. It could be a Google slide, a Google document, a book creator, that they will have everything that they will be learning will be on that, and that's going to be a resource for them to look back on if they need. And this is going to relate back to my ISTE objective because this will be another resource for them with all the information. They're going to be able to write anything in there that will help them remember, and they'll be able to have visuals in there as well. The assessments I have relate back to my objectives because they are showing that my students can identify and solve problems with money. I'll be giving them an online assessment of identifying and solving problems. The summative assessment will be a simulation to wrap everything up to see what they've learned into one activity. And the technology that will be used, like I said, will be in one of my assessments. And then there's some other apps that I can use when they're learning money and addition. And for this unit in particular, we're just going to stick to adding money instead of subtracting. And they can use those during center times or even for some other formative assessments of mine. So going on to my standards, you're going to see here that it's the Common Core state standards for the math content. If I were to be using this in my classroom, I might align them to the essential elements. Michigan's essential elements, and if you go on there, you just Google that, you'll see their grade 3, 4, and 5 all relate and align back to this Common Core standard. So they're going to be able to solve word problems involving dollar bills, quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies using the dollar and cent symbols appropriately. And then for my IST standard, I'm using 6C. Students will communicate complex ideas clearly and effectively by creating or using a variety of digital objects. And then for the objectives that align to those standards for Common Core, the learner will be able to solve problems involving coins, dollar bills, when shown pictures getting at least 2 out of 4 correct. And then ISTE, the learner will be able to use a variety of models, visualizations, or applications to identify coins and bills, their values, and solve problems, getting at least 3 of 6 correct. And then the last part, getting at least 2 of 4 correct or at least 3 of 6 correct, that's going to depend on your kids. I was basing this off of my kids and just knowing their levels. That's why I based it 2 out of 4 and 3 out of 6. Gen Ed might be a little bit more, a little bit less. It all depends on your kids. So my formative assessment, I'm going to conduct that throughout the unit. So some examples where I might put that is after they learn what each coin and bill is, learning the value each holds, and problem solving towards the end. I'm going to use quizzes for my assessment. And I chose this tool because it's a great resource that the students can get in and out of school if they have the resources outside of school to get onto the internet. This can be done as a whole group or independently. I would start this as a whole group to show them how it would work. And then independently, it's a great, the resource is a great self-paced tool for students to use. They can take the quiz as many times as they need. I can add as many questions as I want and even add images, which is great, especially for this unit. So I'll click on it and show you just a little bit of what it would look like if it And on this, I've got 7 questions on this one in particular, and I've got images. For this in particular, I added the values. You can add as many questions as you like, the images that you'd like, and like I said, you can do it as a solo game, live games as a whole group, and then this can also, I can also have this be homework, and I'm able to see what students are doing it. As far as the summative assessment, I think this is the one I'm most excited for. I'm going to assess my students through a simulation, and for this in particular, I plan to have a store set up in my classroom, and they're going to role play and go grocery shopping. They will have a list of 2 to 4 items. This all depends on their level. Gen Ed might be more. In my classroom, the lower ones might have less items, the higher ones might have more items. Like I said, all depends on the level of your kids. And they're going to take that list and they're going to grab those items that they need, and they'll add up to see what the total would end up being and how much they need to pay. For this, we're just going to leave out taxes on the items, just because we're not there yet. I don't really see any technology resources being used in this lesson. I want them to be able, I want to see what they've learned throughout. So yeah, I don't think I'll have any technology resources, just the way this assessment is set up. But for my kids in my class, I might have some accommodations and modifications that I'll throw in there. So for pictures will be used in every lesson and assessment. So it's pretty easy to get coins and bills confused. With the summative assessment, I would give them a cheat sheet if needed, depending on their level, with coins and bills and their values. So when they're adding and going through the store, they're able to see it might be a little bit more helpful for them. For that can be used in Gen Ed as well. Pictures definitely used in Gen Ed. It's definitely not just for special ed. It all depends on the level of your kids, like I said. And for this unit, I might even start at just coins and then do the assessment, do everything I need for that, and then move on to bills, do everything with the assessments, and then I would add them together so they're not as overwhelmed. But again, it depends on your kids. You know your kids best. As far as my kids, I think right now I would start at just the coins and then move on from there. But yeah, I hope you found this helpful. You might use this in your classroom. But yeah, thanks for watching.